Hello there, World Takers. Welcome back to my videos. This video is a bit different. This is more of me ranting on World of Tanks. Now, I'm sure most of you experienced or are just good players at this game know what this issue is, and this is the issue called lack of teamwork and just lack of skill. Now, this game I am running my Chieftain, and I played about 5 games in a row like this. That happened, me doing 4,000, 5,000 damage almost in some of these games, where the team would still somehow lose because of these players on the enemy teams. I mean, on my team. And what I've learned on teams is that it's not actually a matter of having a Pramo member or having a Void member on your team. The fact is nowadays that it doesn't matter how good you are, if you have a bad team, you cannot carry it. You can do 5,000, 6,000 damage in a game, and your team can still lose because nobody is supporting you. The whole enemy team can flank your whole entire flank and kill them easily, and then push on you as you're trying to hold off 5 enemy vehicles on your side. And it happens more and more often. My win rate has dropped from 70% in 30 days to 66% on Blitz stars within the past, I don't know, 5 days. And I'm not sure why the teams are becoming worse and worse. If you take a look on our map, we have an E100 on the beaches. Why is he on the beaches? I have no clue. Not only that, you can also see we have another tier 10, I'm pretty sure tier 10 tank destroyer on the beaches as well. Yes, we have a Jagdpanzer E100 on the beaches. Now, why that Jagdpanzer is on the beaches, I have no clue, and neither why the E100. So we're pretty much down 2 tier 10s as of right now, because neither of those tanks are supporting our heavies. And really, we're useless. We're down. It's been literally 2 minutes, and it's 3 versus 6. We're easily going to lose this match. This game ends in a total of about 3 minutes. And I try and do as much damage as I possibly can, but this team was just terrible. And even though this IS-7 wasn't a great player, I still easily took out this IS-7 with 154 health, managing to pull out 4K. I don't know what the team was doing. You can see this 268 just immediately shoots me, which was the smart thing to do. Because if you take a look at our E100, I don't really understand what he is doing. Just driving his tank along. We had a Jagdpanzer at the back of the map, but he is also dead. You can see that Jagdpanzer back there. Why is the Jagdpanzer back there? I have no clue. And that is the issue with teams nowadays, is you can see they're just terrible. You really can't do anything when you have a bad enemy team, and it's really destructive towards your win rate. And what it's led me to do is I actually have to play some lower tiers like the WZ120 GFT to actually bring my win rate back up to keep it at a steady place. And I actually stopped running some of my high win rate tier 10s. If you take a look at my account at tier 10s, you will see that I have, the FE 4005 with 3200 damage, the WZ. Now, this WZ 111, 113, or 113 GFT used to have a 75% win rate. I played about 10 games in a row with it the last couple days, and my win rate dropped from 75 to 69%. My E50M used to have a 72% win rate, and that dropped to 68%, and so did the average damage in it by about 200. The same with the Object 268. I played about 10 games in it, and it went from a 65% win rate to 54. All of my tanks' win rates are dropping. And what I'm suggesting you high tier players do if you have the same issue is you just stop playing tier 10 for now. It's not enjoyable. You can't win games. All of the tier 10 win rates I have are just dropping and dropping and dropping. And the reason, if you pay attention ever at low tiers, the reason you win at low tiers is because players are so bad at low tiers, you're actually able to carry these low tier games. If you take a look, I've got a 70% win rate at some of my tier 8, 63, 80% win rate. And the reason that you're able to get these great win rates in these tier 8s and tier 7 vehicles is just because the enemy teams and your teams are so bad nowadays that you're actually able to easily overrun them. Like my Smasher, I'm able to keep a ridiculous 81% win rate, you can see. You shouldn't be able to do that in any tank in the game. It's such a broken, overpowered tank. But it's only broken because the enemy teams are so bad. The Smasher is an easy tank to take out if you easily just rush it. 2 vehicles over shooting at it like a heavy tank, like a Tiger, can easily take out a Smasher. But the issue is that teams are so bad nowadays. The Smasher, you can literally run it right into the midst of an enemy fire and kill half of the enemy team. And I showed a game like that on how to use high explosive ammo yesterday, where I pretty much cleared an entire enemy team alone in my Smasher. And that is what I am led to do nowadays, is you actually are stuck. You can't play tier 10 tanks anymore because you're not possible to win. My Foch was sitting at about a 62% win rate before I started playing this week, and every single one of my stats has dropped. And it's caused me to just stop playing tier 10. And I'll show you again another bad team in this next replay. Now in the second match, I have loaded in, and I took a look at the enemy team. I'm like, okay, they got an IS-7, E5, and an ST-1, so they are most likely going to push heavy. And they got a WT, which will most likely sit in the back, so our mediums decide to flank, which would be the smart thing to do. Now, this WT on our team decides to sit out in the open without any cover behind a bush. For some apparent reason, thinks that's a good idea. You will see that happen in just a bit. As you see, he keeps driving up and up and up. Now, the WT on their team should notice that there is pretty much no heavy spotted over here. There are 3 tanks spotted over there, as I noticed, and I told my friend already that they are screwed. As soon as I saw that E5 get spotted, I pushed immediately, because I knew that our team was going to be overrun really, really quickly, and I wanted to clear this ST1 as quickly as possible to kill him. Now, if you take a look, we have a Batchat sitting at base 1. Why, you may ask, I do not know. That is the first issue of this game. Again, the enemy team even screws up here, pushing 2 tier 9s against our heavies, and you would always expect the heavies to push this way, so I don't know why they thought this was a good idea, though. The WT never fires, dies, ST1 bounces me. And now I am going to push on this ST1. I'm going to pump a shell into him. He really has no chance what to do here. I'm going to try and hide my lower plate. Yes, 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 I back up. I managed to hide that plate. Now he's not aiming at me again. Going to snap another shell right into him. Misses me. This U-100 has a clear shell on him. Doesn't fire for some reason. And now we are going to push forwards. Now you can still see that our mediums are doing a pretty good job of holding there, judging on how they are completely surrounded. And again, you can see the Batchat on our team, dum-da-dum-da-dum, pushes behind our heavies. Instead of supporting the mediums, that Batchat could easily be shooting those mediums right up the old bungle hole. But he is not. He is flanking, being useless to every single person on the team. And now what is he doing? He is going to sit back there and sit like a tank destroyer for some reason. So we are already down a Batchat pretty much because that player is useless. So now it is just me, the Chieftain, and the E100. And me and my friend, I told him, let's just stay here. I am going to try and put some pressure on them if they stay up there, which wasn't a bad idea. I'm sitting at full hit points. We still have a very easy chance to win this. It is 4-5, and we have more hit points than them. We have a lot more hit points, especially since their T-54E1 is a one-shot. But you will see our E100 misses a shell on that 62A. Doesn't miss, sorry, bounces that 62A, which is already bad for the team. Not only that, now they are going to be pushing over to the E100 and Chieftain. Now, I told my buddy the Chieftain, you should be able to push up there. The E100's got you covered. He should be able to take shots for you. You should be completely fine. I'm going to try and flank, clear this T-54E1 so that he doesn't come up behind us and clip us out. And you can see that this is the 54E1. Aim, aim, aim. And that was a very unlucky shell. Bounces. Now, the E100, you can see again, tracks the 48 patent somehow. So now that E100 has bounced 1 shell, 2 shells, bounces the IS-7. That is 3 shells bounced. And now that E100 has already lost 1,000 hit points, bounced 3 shells. This is just very bad for him. You can see now that there's the ISM pushing on him. E100 a clear shot his lower plane and bounces him again. And now this E100 is screwed. Now, if you look at the team right now, if I pause the match, the enemy team is sitting at 3 tier 10s, 1100, 1400, and 2000 hit points. Now, if that E100 had penned that first shell in the 62A, he'd be sitting at about 850 hit points or so, and the E5 would be sitting at about, let's say, I don't know, 600 hit points if he had hit him, or the IS-7, which he mounts, would have been sitting at about 1,200, 1,400 hit points. But because that E100 missed his shells, now that we are screwed. And you can see this bat chat, again, not really doing much, flanked all the way around from the side he was at, all the way around the map, just to come back and do absolutely nothing. Not sure what the bat chat's doing. And you can see I am trying my best to hold the enemy team. This IS-7 is not a great player, but he's still good enough to know how to run his tank. Now I'm going to snipe another shell right into the lower plate of him, and that E5 gets a ridiculous penetration on me. I'm not even sure how that penned. That was quite stupid. You can see that bat chat thankfully saved me from that 62A pushing behind me. And now I get lit on fire, and I'm down to a one-shot. Now, if you pause the game right here, that E100 bounced that shell, not IS-7. Now, that IS-7 would be dead, statistically, right now. So it would just be this E5. I would not have lost that extra bit of hit points there. That IS-7 would be dead. I would be sitting at about 500, 600 hit points. Not to mention that 62A would be sitting at about 200 hit points right now against a bat chat with full hit points. So right now, if that E100 had penned any of his shells, we would be very easily winning this game. Because as you see, this E5 ricochets his heat shell right off of me. He would have been sitting at around the same hit points as me, and I easily probably could have been able to take him out with a bit of angling. So now that I am dead, you can see that this bat chat, even though he is not a great player, still that 62A would have been dead if that E100 had penetrated him. So this is the point of what I'm trying to make, is that I don't understand why teams are so bad. My win rate has dropped in every single vehicle, as I showed you. The only way to win, as I said, is you have to play overpowered low-tier tanks, because that's the only tier you can carry in. You can't carry in tier 10, there are too many hit points to go around. And you can see here that me and my friend in total did 7,000 damage, which is more than half the enemy team's entire damage. So if you think about it, we did enough damage to kill half of the entire tier 10 team just by ourselves. But the 121, who was with the first tank to die or the second tank to die, 1,600 damage. He did pretty good. Then you take a look. The bat chat did okay at 1,400. We start going down the list. Our E100, our top tier heavy tank, tier 10, 62 damage, and he got that because of a ram. Now let's see how many shells that E100 fired. He fired a total of 5 shells. 4 of those hit the enemy. It says it penetrated. None of his shells penetrated, as you could see. If he had fired high explosive, we probably could have won this game. That is how desperate we were to win. We could have easily pulled this off. So I have no clue why teams are so bad in Blitz right now. It might be because of the update when they removed all the low tiers. People are speeding up. But it just sucks right now, and that is my opinion on why teams are so bad. If you did like this video, though, please let me know down in the comments below if you have the same frustrations as me in teams right now, if teams are so bad you can't really win. Please let me know, and send me replays to burningpeak30@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.